What's up, sports fans? I'm Rene Garza Jr.
And I'm Freddie Guevara.
And welcome to another episode of Tailgate 956, a show that covers sports across the Valley and the Lone Star State. Now, my brother, how have you been?
Great week. Exciting weekend.
Oh, yeah, definitely exciting weekend. A lot of blood pressures were tested this weekend, especially in the world of baseball.
Hi there for a bit, but you know what? Hey, right now it's neck and neck, man.
Oh, neck and neck, yes. We had first place. The Astros had first place.
Yes.
And now we're in second place. It lasted for a day?
Yeah, but we're still, like I said, neck and neck, man. We'll get more into it during the time, but hey, they're not going to escape from us that easy.
Oh, no. But before we get started on tonight's shenanigans, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Apogee Comics, the best independent comic books. If you're looking for a great read, make your next comic book Apogee. You can find Apogee Comics all throughout social media and on their website at www.apogeecomics.com.
And Rick's Auto Shop for all your auto repair needs.
Now, if you have a problem with a leaky faucet, so-and-so, call Charlie Towers. They'll gladly help you out with all your plumbing needs.
Definitely with that porcelain throne.
Oh yeah, definitely with the porcelain throne.
And our newest it's from Sanidad.RGV. You can contact them if you need anybody to talk to, or somebody just to listen. The telephone number is 956-299-8879. You can also reach them at sanidad.rgv@gmail.com, or just visit their website at if you search up Sanidad.RGV, you can go ahead and click on their websites, and you can contact them by putting all your information, and they'll call you right back.
Definitely call you right back. Yes, and anytime you need anytime you need help, mental health is very important. And if you need a call, Sanidad, we'll be right there to help you with all your needs.
And regarding sports, it's a very interesting topic that I want to go ahead and also take a little bit of time to go ahead and also make time. I know for the males, the masculinity, unfortunately, I see a lot. It's also for us guys. We sometimes need it. And you know what? I want to open up that conversation that, don't be afraid to go ahead. It does help. We all need it, and it's good to be listened to sometimes.
Definitely, it's always good to talk to someone if you're struggling with anything like that.
Yeah,
and that's one place to go.
We're always concentrating on sports, being tough, out there. But you know what? Hey, sometimes we need somebody.
Yeah, we need somebody to be tough with. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
True. Well, not to be tough with, to be vulnerable.
To be vulnerable with. When you don't own a vulnerable space, and it's okay, it's all right.
Yeah. Now, back to the subject of the Astros. Oh boy,
them Astros,
baby, them. Oof. Well, this we just finished four game series against Tampa Bay.
Yes,
the struggling Tampa Bay. But for some reason, I don't know what happened, that we struggled, pitching wise.
The pitching is just really getting on us. You know what I mean? It really is. It's really getting on us. The pitching is really causing us a lot of trouble. Look at what we're doing, and we're struggling in the pitching end.
Yeah.
I could just imagine us, if we were on a better ordeal. Not even healthy completely, just better.
Better, yeah. And not only that, having Ronel Blanco now out with Tommy John surgery, which I knew was going to happen. Didn't I tell you when I sent you that? Didn't I tell you when I sent you that? Yes.
I know. When you sent it to me, I was like, Jesus, that's the last thing we need.
As soon as I heard, he got sent to the medical for another, a second opinion, I was like, oh, no, it's Tommy John's. It's Tommy John's, yeah. Yeah. But for some reason, I don't know why is it that this season, as last season, we've been struggling pitching wise.
Yeah,
definitely pitching wise.
And our Aaron Getty too. I think you're right. They're doing the same thing that they did last year.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot more serious than they're letting us to believe. With his injury, Aaron Getty's injury, because man, we really need this guy back. And you know what? I haven't heard anything about him coming back at all.
No, well, actually, from what I understand here, he'll be back in mid-July.
That's what they've been saying.
Hopefully, that's what they said.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing. When it came to Yordan Alvarez, was another one that was injured too. Supposedly he was already hitting balls already,
Okay.
which was positive. I was like, oh great,
Would
Jordan's
have
gonna
been
be
good.
back. We were struggling,
I would have thought he would have been back, yeah, because of how they were letting us to
he
believe
was
that he
hitting
was being
ball, but
back.
apparently they ended up finding out now that the swelling had gone down, that everything went down, that he had like a little hairline fracture on his hand. So his time frame
Just got
extended.
extended.
Yeah. So well, he's 60% better now. Supposedly he's 60% better.
Oh yeah, no,
But
but I
and
mean,
even at that, he said he could come back and they could catch, but they rather have him healed completely
for
because
the playoffs.
no, not only the playoffs but also the bat completely. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, of
yeah,
course. I mean, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really concerned in the batting area. The
yeah,
batting area has been sustained good. I mean,
hmm
I'm glad. I'm
yeah,
really content over that.
yeah,
But the pitching's been the one that's worrying me the most. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? And
That's where it's
Aaron
been
Getty,
struggling
if he's
too.
gonna come back in mid-July,
Hmm.
I mean, that's already worrying me because what's going on from now to July is already it's a long time,
It
and it's
is. It
already
is.
been a long time already since. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa. I mean, I'm kind of concerned for him and kind of devastated that I'm again gonna not see him in a full season. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Last season he came in too late.
Uh huh.
This season he's injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. I'm just concerned about him overall.
Hmm.
But I mean, hopefully, whatever happens, he's healthy and good, and we're able to see him in the playoffs.
Yeah. And here's the thing though that troubled me more so like that because I don't know if the medical staff, they need a new medical staff in the Astros office or something like that, because injuries like that and then giving them a time frame of extending, like something's wrong there, or I don't know, they're feeding the media or everybody else half truths, to them and all that stuff. But the whole, like, apparently from what I'm reading right here is that Luis Garcia, he's expected to return the second half of the 2025 season. This is after the All-Star game. Same thing with Christian Javier and JP France. Supposedly that's the time frame. That's the time frame that they're going to come back right after the All-Star break. Well, actually, JP France is scheduled to be back from his shoulder surgery after the All-Star break. Supposedly, that's the projected time. Who knows? Could it be still too late for that? That remains to be seen. But the way this 4 games went with Tampa Bay,
Hmm.
it showed that we're struggling. Like 2 out of those games, Framer, well, like he came, Framber came out like out of the woodwork, finally playing well enough. He's had successful outings finally. I can finally say that, I could eat crow and say, you know what, he's been good. But I'm still skeptical. Like we both discussed,
Yeah.
that at times he could be solid and then he can have a streak of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. We've all like at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, like the beginning of the season, yeah, like that, the first game he had out, that was great. But then he's been having the struggling there. Or we're almost halfway. We're almost halfway through
Yeah.
this season. We're almost halfway through this season. And,
What I just hope is that we can go ahead and be able to finish it
Mhm.
strong enough to get to the playoffs, and I'm hoping that by the playoffs time comes,
Mhm.
we have all these guys down and get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing is that I would love to see these guys play a little bit before, because I feel that maybe that's what happened last year.
Yeah.
Everybody came back for time for the playoffs, but
Mhm.
they were all cold.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what froze everything up and kept everything from the engine from going to hitting all the on 8 cylinders. Because I'm gonna be honest
yeah,
with you,
yeah,
I was so surprised because I mean what they did with the players and what little they had last
yeah.
year, and then they got at least some
It
people
was
back.
it was a little engine that could. No
I,
reference towards the trend, but yeah.
I was surprised that we're like, what happened? And then
Mhm.
but I think that that's what probably was the cause of it. That
Yeah.
they were too cold coming
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And yeah, we need these players, and but they need to warm up a little bit before. And I feel like a few games will do them just right.
Yeah, I feel Kyle Tucker during that time. I know you're talking especially about Kyle Tucker when he came
Especially
back.
about him.
I feel that he was still probably too injured to come play. A lot of players were still a little too green because when it came to the month of May, Isaac Paredes, Jake Myers, Jeremy Pena, Cam Smith, all of them have been having a phenomenal month of May, especially Jake Myers.
Yeah.
They've improved greatly, and that's what helped us out. But these kind of scorings, they just show that we were struggling, batting wise and pitching wise. For example, the game 1 against this series, it was 3-13. 3-13. It was on Thursday, and let's see who's the pitching one that was like who's pitching that game. King. King was pitching that's what ended up. He was a reliever that pretty much cost us most of the game that we were having struggles with. And then back in game 2, where we won 2-1, it was Framber. Framber's the one that helped us win that one because he pitched the whole game, and that's what the struggling says. Do we have enough relievers? Do we have anybody pitching wise to help us out during that?
Yeah.
Right there, that game either he was playing solid enough that they didn't want to change him. Yeah. Which, me being biased, I could say, change him.
Change him.
Change him while we're still good. But it seemed like, that wasn't the case during that time.
Hey, but Abdul hit a home run.
Oh, yes. That was a home run. Yeah, no. Abdul was on fire. Yes. That's like,
I guess, you know what? I like that it lit up his fire for him to do. But maybe that's what I'm going. Like, I understand what you're saying from all these, but I kind of feel like these were overrun by the momentum of the pitching.
Yeah,
because I think they could have done. I think hitting wise, they could have done a lot better, and they're capable. If they've shown us to do it,
we're capable of it.
But I think
we are definitely.
When you're up to bat, I think it brings down the momentum that your hard work's gonna be there, and then the pitching's not gonna finish the job.
Yeah, and a perfect example was the third game when Colton Gordon was the pitcher, where we lost 16-3. That was a tough pill to swallow. That was rough. No, 16-3.
It was 16.
Yeah, they scored 3 more. You've probably seen it at 13.
Jesus. Mary and Joseph. Man.
Yeah, 16-30. Yeah, they dominated us pretty rough during this. It was like 7 runs in the 7th inning.
Oh, I was thinking about the other game.
Oh, you're thinking about the other game.
Yeah, I'm like.
Oh, you mean game 1?
I was thinking about
game 1. Yeah.
I was like, oh my Lord.
And yesterday's game started off June the right way with a win, even though it was just 1 run. But we had Diesel straight up Hunter Brown. So I'm confident enough to say, you know what? I'm still on the fence when it comes to Frammer. I know you're still on the fence when it comes to Frammer, because at any given moment, he hopefully he got over this hump and he got out of his head that he's going to have once something happens, he falls apart. Although I'm still going to be like, I'm still on the fence when it comes to that. If he continues this winning streak that he's been having, okay.
Yeah,
I'll be okay.
If it's working, if it's not broken, don't fix it. At least right now.
Yeah.
If he starts messing up, then I would go ahead. I don't know. I always thought that they should put him as a reliever, because I feel like he'll probably do better. Like I said, I think it's too much pressure for him to handle, like coming up and playing first. But he's been doing good, so I mean, I mean that really kind of like puts things in, I don't know, board perspective, for whatever reason.
Yeah. Like, no, but honestly, I feel pitching wise, we are devastatedly short.
Definitely. There's no doubt about it.
No.
At the beginning, we thought we were short, but now we're just handicapped pretty much.
Yeah, and like the timeline that we have these players at for them coming back, it's rough, and it's July. July is still too far away because June just started. We're barely the second.
Yeah,
second
mid-July. It's when the beginning of July.
Mid-July. More than likely, it's probably mid-July. Yeah, mid-July.
Where they start coming back.
And I feel when it comes to Jordan, it'll probably be toward the end of July, or probably even at that. I hate to say this, but it seems we'll probably get Jordan probably back in August, or even at that. They're probably the same thing right after the All-Star break too.
Yeah. I see a lot of people coming back until then, like probably around that timeline.
Yeah,
maybe August instead of July. I really would be happy to see them back in July, mid-July, but I feel like they're gonna go all the way to August.
Yeah, I feel when it comes to Ort, the relievers of Ort, King, Abreu, Hader, like we're doing okay. We're doing okay.
The problem is when they're not there.
We're not like well, even though when it comes to pitching somewhere else, like Colton Gordon, no offense to him.
Yeah, I know.
No offense to him. I feel there was a lot of pressure. Getting called up. Just facing what you needed to face. You still need a couple more practice.
Yeah.
But it was a tough pill to swallow. That it was 16-3. Yeah, that was hurtful.
That hurt. Yeah, that hurt. They're 16 and the 13. That really
But when it comes to the bats, we need to hit it more. We need to hit it more because these low scoring games are, yeah, they have the edge of your seat action. I'll tell you that it's very like
but it's not good for my blood pressure.
it's not good for a lot of Astro fans' blood pressure. I'll tell you that
But
much.
you see, that's why I say like I think it's one and the same. I think the batting is not. It's not that we can't bat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the momentum goes into the pitching.
Yeah,
so until we get that fixed, unfortunately, I don't think our batting will be as good as it can be.
I feel
what I mean.
You could honestly say the batting chi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mojo.
The mojo, as they say. Yeah,
the mojo, baby.
Oh man.
But yeah, I feel these. I mean, you just imagine going out to bat and you're like, our pitching, it's not gonna do the job.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, man, you get out there and I'm like, what's the point of me going out here but getting a home run if and that's it. In that one, everybody scored a home run. No, not even I believe there were 3 home runs.
Yeah, 3 home runs.
I think 2 of them were like definitely home runs.
Yeah.
So they were all home runs. They were not even long, a base hit, base hit or nothing. It was a home run. So I mean, and then to see that they still lost, it's still devastating.
It's still devastating, yeah. But the good thing is when it comes to openers, we got Hunter Brown.
Yeah.
We got Lance McCullers Jr., which I always have confidence in. Yeah, by the way. And speaking of Lance McCullers Jr., recently they released today that that dirtbag who threatened.
Oh yes.
Who threatened his family? By the way, if you're a gambler and you're a scumbag. You're a scumbag. You're a scumbag if you're gonna do that.
Don't be doing it. Not if you're a gambler. Not if you're a gambler. We all gamble.
We all gamble. But either way, if you suck like handling your money, like you're gambling that way, like don't do that.
Don't bring your business into other people's or make it. It's not fair. These guys are just out there to play. Yeah, that's what they're there for. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
I mean,
They don't know you a thing,
exactly.
And then to go do that, you know what? I'm glad you lost. If you're that kind of person, I'm glad you lost.
I just don't think you should never put other people in other people's business.
Exactly.
Your business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm just happy to know that it wasn't a Houstonian or any Astros fan legit that made those threats because that made Astros.
I was concerned that it was.
It made Astros fans look bad, and I know for a fact as Astros fan and other Astros fans and baseball fans in general.
Yeah,
baseball fans like don't be those kind of dirtbags.
No,
don't be those kind of dirtbags.
I mean, why?
Why? Turns out it was a guy overseas, and he's all like, "Oh, I was drunk and I made them." And screw you and your apology, all right? Apparently, they're still investigating this open case, but you know what? I hope justice seeks.
Yeah.
That.
Teaching maybe. I mean, that tells you a lot. Probably you have a problem, man.
Yeah, you have a problem. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this is your wake up call. You should be wake up.
Yeah,
call, man.
Stop gambling. That's what you need to do.
If you can't, if you don't got no money, don't gamble. It's always said, hey, only gamble with what you can go ahead and afford.
Exactly. Or gamble with your relatives. Loteria.
Hey, yeah.
Why not? Anyways.
Exactly.
But other than that, Lance McCullers has been, he's been doing better. Each game that he's pitching has been phenomenal.
At least he's going in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. And I know he's a positive for the locker room of the Astros locker room. So I believe he's going to pitch tomorrow against the Pirates. Actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that game.
How okay, given that I'll ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
This is a question that I'm intrigued because what do you do when you're limited down to the pitchers? Well, okay. Well, let's cut down. Which are the pitchers you feel you can count on from the Astros right now?
Hunter Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Starters, you mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, and it doesn't have to be necessarily just pitchers that we can count on.
Well, just in general relievers and pitchers. Hunter Brown, definitely Hunter Brown. Every time I find out he's pitching, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
that
ecstatic.
Feeling, you know what I mean? Like when you see him out there, coming out there, or out there, you're excited. You're excited. Like, oh man,
excited.
That's what I mean. Like with those kind of pitchers.
Lance McCullers Jr. Even before the injury, every time I was he was gonna pitch, I'm like, awesome.
Okay.
So I'm glad he's back. Spencer Getty before the injury. Yeah, I know.
No, but I mean like active right now.
Oh, active right now.
Active right now. That when you see him, you're like right now content. You're like happy to him that are active right now.
Okay. Those two right now. I guess you can say Frammer. Right,
You've gone a little bit, and that's at least so far right now.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence.
Yeah.
Okay, even at that, if he has another bad game, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm all like, okay, it happens to our best pitchers. If he continues like a bad losing streak of the next game,
then you'll be
like, oh, okay, I was right.
Okay.
Darn it, I was right. Yeah. I guess Ort with relievers, Abreu, Hader when he closes as well. King is another one.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the ones right now that I can think of on top of my head that
you would like solid.
Solid, and most of them are relievers.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. How would you divide them into games? How many groups and how many would you who would you put together?
I guess for the safety net of like Framber, I would always leave Abreu and Hader.
Like for in case for that same reason, the best.
Yeah.
With Framber. And then the other pitchers,
Hunter Brown, I would probably leave King. Already King will be a good reliever. Ort.
Okay.
Will be with last colors, yeah. Or he did have a hiccup, but at the same time, it's okay. Like I said, it happens. Now, if it's consistent,
the consistent thing is when you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
And that was my problem with Framber. It was a consistent thing. But if he's given his last hurrah, his final tour here as an Astro, okay, I can say as a fan in general, thank you for your service for the Astros. Or if they sign him, or if he continues improving, that he wants to come back, okay, why not? I'm open to it. That's a different Framber from last season. I can say that, yeah. But yeah, those are my, those are my right now for starting pitchers, and as you can see, it's very limited.
It is. It's very limited considering what you. And then, like I said, most people have 3 different groups. That's just, I would say, 2 groups to go ahead and rotate one game and one game. And I mean, you see, and that's what I'm gonna go ahead and put. Now, that's the way it should be. But how is it that, like, they can't do that? That's what I want. I agree with you in there, but I would want to see more of that. The problem is that I know that they have to rotate more groups,
give them rest days, which is understandable because those injuries, you're putting your elbow through like dangerous waters. Yeah.
And that's a bad thing, you see. And that's what you go ahead and put. So most of them, they put him in two of those in one group. Yeah. And that's a bad thing. When one of them has a bad game.
And they give them like limited days of rest, like 1 or 2 days, and then back into it. And that's where I'm like, that's what's struggling. And I hope whatever free agency or whatever happens, the sign before the trade deadline, I hope the Astros get somebody solid and hopefully not a rental. That's what I honestly hope for. That's not a rental.
Oh man, I don't you miss the what's it called? Last season.
No, even at that, no. This season, what I can honestly say about this season and this team at this point,
no, that it's more solid.
It's more solid. Yeah, it's more solid.
It's hard for me to. Okay, it is more solid overall, but I believe that the pitching was more solid last year. I still believe that the pitching was more solid, and only because of Kikuchi solidified, like he himself was part of a group. Kikuchi made a big difference, and even with just one player, I mean, he made that much of a big difference, and I feel like the pitching was a little bit more solid.
I have to give you that. I kind of agree with you with Kikuchi. Yeah. Hopefully we get somebody in similar areas.
But that's what it's kind of irritating too because it's like we're that close to being imagine if we had like one of those pitchers right now, right? Maybe even Aaron Getty or somebody else. It would have made a big difference because I had high hopes for Aaron Getty. You can see right away that Aaron Getty was
Aaron Getty had like a low rough start, but he improved. He improved.
And maybe he could have gone to that level, what I mean?
Yeah, but it was just that freak accident that happened to his thumb on his throwing hand. Of all hands, on his throwing hand. But hopefully until next July he'll be coming back. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Hopefully he can finish this season strong and go into the playoffs even stronger.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm positive when it comes to that.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Aaron Getty. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a huge Aaron Getty fan since I saw him last year.
Oh no, so have I. So if I knew there was something more. And same thing where Blue Bach, the other pitcher, the one that You could tell he's good, but he still needed some.
He's a little green, but
He's
yeah,
a little,
he's still going. He's getting there.
I could tell like there's some. I don't know why. Like I said, he's like gives me like an Aaron Getty. Gives me like an Aaron Getty vibe. A little like he still needs a little more work.
More work.
And I hope the Astros like don't
give
trade
him
him.
That time.
Yeah, and don't trade him. Like don't trade him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everything sometimes takes time. Unfortunately, this season it wouldn't be one of those to go ahead and give him the time. But in this case, we don't have really much to. I mean, I would say throw him in there and try to go ahead and get him a little bit more time. At least playing time,
a little trial by fire kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the only bad thing about things like that is what happens: criticism, and that's what leads to good players leaving too early too.
Yeah.
Because he had a bad,
I feel when it comes to Ronel Blanco. Like let's talk Ronel Blanco right now. Last season had a phenomenal season.
Yeah, he had a great season.
A phenomenal season. This season,
not as good.
But here's the reason why I feel that he was injured already, but was playing through the pain, and you started seeing it in his pitching because it was pretty rough.
And that makes sense.
It was pretty rough.
You brought it up last time. I remember you brought it up last time.
Remember I told you that he hasn't been solid enough as he was last season.
You brought it up last time, and I can't help but agree with you. Mm-hmm. I can't help but agree. I think he was playing through the tough, like through the injury, and it affected too much. At one point, he's playing, and he said himself, "No, I have to put myself."
Yeah. So like even at that, like when they send him back, I'm like, oh, that was like I was saying earlier in the show, pretty much, injury, second opinion.
In that case, what do you do as a fan? Do you want him there? But then you're like, he's injured and he's not performing as good as he could. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's the part. That's the hard part between everything and the blurry lines, the gray area between black and white.
Yeah, and that's where that falls too.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we need to see more improvement from Jose Altuve. Even at that. Recently, I just found out that Chas McCormick and DeZenzo are on the IL. They got injured also during this Tampa Bay. The injuries keep coming, man. The injuries keep coming. Yeah, I think was it a quad injury for Chas McCormick is going to be out. I think 10 days.
Okay,
10 days. Yeah. And DeZenzo, I think he'll be out probably 30 days. No, he's the one with the quad injury. But he's going to get a second opinion. I don't know if the same injury that Alex Bregman had on his quad. Because I heard he's still out. He got injured. Too. He got hurt.
Yeah.
I know he's a Red Sox, but I'm just saying. The same injury that affected him when he was playing with the Astros. It's the same thing that,
And and you know what? That's really bad. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
McCormick, I mean, last year he made a really good, decent hits. I liked the hits that he did last year. Yeah, I mean, maybe not a lot.
He had a rough go at bats.
Yeah,
he had every now and then he would hit. He would make a hit, but honestly, this season he's improved a little bit better, defense wise in the outfield. He's been doing better. He's out there with I
believe he's the one that missed it on that one of those plays. He missed the ball over there for the Orioles one time.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The Orioles. Yeah.
So I believe it was him, but I mean he's been a kind of a up and down kind of guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him next year, to be honest with you. But how do you feel about that?
I feel that if he's on a chopping block, it kind of sucks that they trade him and he's still injured.
Well, I mean, I guess it's added to injury, but overall, what would you say to that?
I want to see how he, performs this the rest of the year when he comes back. It's like, it's a different Chas McCormick. I can honestly say it's a different Chas, but I could see him, trade the chopping block of.
The reason why I say is because he's been performing a little better.
Yeah,
that they, get some value out of him and try to get.
Maybe that's what I feel. They probably trade him and somebody else. Maybe
now that they're seeing
get some value out of that,
But I mean, because I know he's not one of the big playmakers. I know he does perform some at times.
Yes.
But I know he's not a big playmaker, and maybe they can go ahead and do something about it. Like in that case, pitching. In that sense.
Yeah, and one thing too, speaking of big playmakers, as well that has like an off and okay season going, is Christian Walker.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people say, oh, he's a like a Brayu 2.0. But I'm like, he's not. He's not.
He's not that.
He's not.
Yeah.
This guy hits the ball a lot more, and he's
Yeah.
great at first base.
Yeah.
He's solid. He's phenomenal at first base. So I'm satisfied with his performance.
Yeah.
Although yes, I could I'll be even more happier if you hit the bat a lot more, a couple of base hits. You don't hit a home run, okay? A couple of base hits.
Just base hits.
I'm
Just
good.
get in base. Get on the.
Good. Get the ball rolling. Get on base.
Yeah.
Yeah, get on base.
I hear you.
Yeah, but we'll see how the rest of the season continues, and as the trade line gets closer. Let's hope after before or after the trade break, the pitching changes. And I'm hoping the Astros right now can make more solid hits at bat. And we'll find out tomorrow when they go against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
But yeah, I mean, they should. I hope they do. But considering how they're struggling with the pitching, I don't want to say. I don't want to say anything.
I think we might take game one. Because we have Lance Culture Jr. I think
we should definitely take at least one game.
No. When it comes to sweeps, I know we I guess I had the 2-game sweep against the A's before the game before Tampa Bay. There was a long game stretch, They barely got a day off today, which was Monday, So we have that to look forward to. The rest day, the much needed rest day.
The much needed
rest day. So hopefully against Pittsburgh, it'll be a lot better.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Because right now we are looking at the standings. We are one game behind the Mariners.
Yeah, it's 32. I'm sorry, 32. What was it? 27, I think. Yeah, 27.
Yeah, we're 32 and 27, and the Mariners are 32 and 26.
26. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's not really that fair to say that they're in first. That's why I say neck and neck. Also, get over here because
pretty much.
That there's still one game. They're missing one game.
Yeah.
We're ahead by them by one game. So if we win, they lose. We're up there. But we're back up there.
Yeah. We're back in first place again. There won't probably be more than just one day.
Exactly, and we're still big game ahead. So technically, it's more. I would say more.
I hope they catch up too because the Rangers are right behind the Stros.
29-31.
Yeah, 29-31. So, and they've been improving greatly too as well.
They have, but I feel like again, the Rangers, they I think it was a bigger disappointment last year than this year because last year they coming off of a win.
I can honestly say still this season's been a bit of a disappointment as well too, because. Honestly, if you are, World Series champions, you would be right up there in second place, or you would be in first place.
Last year, I expected them to be in number one.
Yeah, because apparently, some might say that their championship run or their one was a fluke. I'm not disrespecting any Rangers fans. I'm not. I'm just saying there's people out there that say that. Some are Astros fans.
We said it that year. It was the Astros and Rangers game seemed more of a final.
Yeah, what was more of a World Series than the actual World Series.
Exactly. That was a better game.
Texas Showdown.
Yeah, Texas Showdown. Texas. It was just a better game overall.
I do enjoy the Silver Boot Series, as you can tell.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that episode.
And we're gonna have it again, so that's gonna be a good.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, we have it with a lot more healthier pitchers.
Yep, and I believe we will. We will. I'm confident enough to say that the way this team has been playing this season, talk about the Astros now, and the way it's been going, just fix the pitching wise, we'll be solid.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll be solid. And when it comes to the Rangers, keep that momentum up and keep winning those games. And you're a World Series champions. You shouldn't be a below 500 team at all.
Agree.
They should be higher than that.
I agree.
And they have a lot of healthy pitchers too. So that's no excuse.
So there's no injuries.
Yeah. They have a lot more healthy pitchers. And I think they go up against. I don't know if they play today actually.
No, they don't play today.
They don't play today, right? Correct.
Nope.
They play tomorrow. They play against Tampa Bay. Ooh, okay, good luck.
And that's gonna be tough.
Because Tampa Bay's been doing pretty solid too as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how they do against them. They like you said, they've been doing pretty good. So I guess one would never know.
Yeah. No. But we'll find out tomorrow with both our Texas team, Astros and Rangers, how well they do out there in the diamond.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, considering how they played with us, I mean, honestly, the Rangers should be able to go ahead and beat them.
Mhm.
But like you said, we'll go ahead and see. Because honestly, man, if we had those pitchers, that would have been a different game, man.
It would have been a different game. It would have been a different game. It would have been a different season. I feel that we would have been more solid in first place.
We would have been more ahead.
I feel we would have been 6-8 games ahead.
I agree.
You know, I don't speaking on the fan base, but like you said, you agree.
No, yeah,
like Christian Javier and Luis Garcia, I know would have been more solid.
Yeah,
Would have been more comfortable. If that freak injury didn't happen to Aaron Getty, we would have been a lot better.
Look, mark my words. Those blowout games that we had, that's why I'm telling you, it's all momentum. That was causing of the pitching. But let's say, okay, fine. Don't believe me on those. Fine, whatever. Because it's all, you know what? It's hearsay opinions and those close games, those closer games, the games that are really came down to a run, two, and or that last minute, those last minute
home run, the 8th inning or the 9th inning, bam.
Those are the ones that we're talking about. All those. Imagine how if all those. I bet you would have had more wins on those at least minimum.
Yeah.
That would have definitely put us.
I feel that those 13-3, 16-3 losses shouldn't have happened.
No, they
shouldn't have happened. Not to that extent. If we had more solid pitching, that's where I stand.
I agree.
That's where I stand.
I agree.
That's where I stand. But we'll find out once again tomorrow, and we'll find out throughout the rest of the season what Houston decides to do pitching wise.
Definitely, we'll go ahead. I mean, I'm still excited to see them. So on how they handle the situation. But man, I would definitely love to go ahead and see more healthy pitchers out there.
Definitely, and I agree with you on that. But on to another baseball team.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We got to go ahead and say something.
You know what? Let's go to the SS Mijo. SS Mijo, because I think it's a combination of both SS Mijo.
Yes, definitely.
And even at that, we don't have, Shall we? Drum roll. Welcome to another segment of SS Mijo and Ponte Pilas. Where we pretty much say who's been doing great and who's been doing. Yeah. So this week, good news or bad news, my brother?
I would say it always ended in good news.
I love asking that either way. I know his response.
Ending in a good note is
why break tradition? Well, this week's Ponte Pilas goes to the Houston Astros, as we were saying today, that we're on the brink of almost going back to first place. We need to solidify that, get 5-10 games ahead, 40 games. Come on, Astros. We need to improve our pitching. We look for someone available. I'm not saying get back Justin Verlander, but he says, "Hey, I'll come back if I bring him." All right.
You know what? I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
I think that's the only that thing that as Astros, I think they're failing to do. At least from my point, because I don't see them looking for anybody.
Opening up, not even at that, opening up the checkbook.
Exactly.
I know it's easy to say that from a fan's point of view, but hey, you bought the team. It's because you have,
exactly.
The money. You have the money. Yeah.
Now, another
crack a few eggs and make that omelet.
Another people would say because we're sustaining that first place challenge and moving up. They don't care enough to. We're like, oh, we're okay until they get better. Maybe that's the problem, but also good in perspective. One perspective. So overall, I just think that Astros should be working on that.
Yeah, definitely. With Ronald Blanco being injured, there's that gap available of rotating somebody out. And if no offense to Christian Gordon, but if he's having struggles like that, as he had before when he started, I think he hasn't had 2 solid good starts. If you see him dying out there, maybe he still needs a little time to cook. Just send him back. The AAA. Send him back
to the oven.
Send him back to the oven. He's a little crudo, still a little.
Little rare.
Still a little rare. They want it well done, not medium rare. But,
quack still quacking.
It still has feathers. But they need to ponerse pilas, work on who's available this free agency or who's available to trade or who's looking to who has an open contract for to pretty much
to come on board.
To come on board, because we're solid. We're on fire. We're doing great so far.
It's a good looking team.
Yeah, but we're struggling to keep that momentum, and I feel it will be more solid, as we said throughout this whole episode. Pitching.
Kikuchi, I'm not saying, you know.
Yeah, Kikuchi, I know. Hey, Pam, man, he's available, and he's and he wants to improve, or come back, come back. Because I believe right now the Angels are practically in last place, 26-32.
Oh my lord.
Yep.
My lord.
Uh-huh.
Kikuchi, get over here.
Yeah, come on back.
Come on.
But honestly, I can say look for somebody free agency that wants to, even if it's Justin Verlander. Hey, come on back. Injuries happen. You and your career with as a stroke. I can say that. I can say that. Yeah.
Definitely.
JB, come on back.
Definitely, I agree.
And now for the SS Miko Award. The SS Miko Award goes to the UTRGV baseball team for having a phenomenal season.
Great season. 36-18.
36-16 overall record.
Oh my lord.
And a conference record of 22-8. They ended the season with a 3-run record in their final series against the World Incarnate. Mm-hmm. Or Incarnate Word. Sorry. World Incarnate. I'm like referencing comic books over here. Wrong. This ain't Apogee Comics, guys. But they concluded the 2-2 record of the Southland Conference tournament, which was, I feel, phenomenal. You know, they beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi, although they ended up losing against Christian University. Yeah, the Houston Christian University. It's all right, but this is the team's first year in the Southern Conference. Yeah. And that kind of record that they have this season, they blown away, guys. Blown away. And SS Miko for definitely. Hats off to you guys. And
put RGV
on the map and showing that when it comes to baseball, UTRGV is no joke. Phenomenal play from all the players, and continue that next season.
Definitely. I'm excited to go ahead and see these guys next year. Again, they had a great season last season, and just even a better one this one.
Yeah, a better one this one. Yeah. So, hey, all those MLB scouts out there, definitely look into this team, because there's phenomenal players coached by some of the best.
I will definitely be surprised if I don't see at least one of these kids.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Astros, check out the pitching.
There you go. Hey, there you go.
We got good prospects. But yeah. But my brother, this has been one awesome episode, I have to say. Exclusively on baseball.
On Astros,
because I felt we had a lot to say. And once again, I'm Rene Garza Jr.
I'm Freddie Guevara.
And we'll see you at the next tailgate. My brother, let's go grab a bite to eat, because I am hungry.
Oh, yeah.
I wish there was baseball today. No Astros. Yeah, no Astros.